sending the link. I don't know if we need to wait or.
Okay, so
I see
just
Mr. Oliver
FYI,
is on.
we are live, just FYI. We can pause and wait, but team, you know me and the recording, so I don't want to stop it and start it back and have echoes and all that stuff. So
As long as you got it going, we're good.
govern yourselves
We're
accordingly.
we're ready. We can go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Did you say something, Mr. Jackson?
Yes, I sent Ms. Jacoby the email. I made the
Okay.
link.
Did she want us to wait for her, Mr. Jackson? Or she's just gonna hop on? I think we can go ahead and start though.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start. All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Luther J. Price Middle School's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I am pleased to call this meeting of Luther J. Price Middle School's Go Team to order at 4:23 p.m. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary will now take roll.
Dr. Mahan,
I'm present.
Ms. Sutton,
Present.
Mr. Oliver,
Present.
Mr. Jackson,
Present.
Ms. Arthur,
Present.
Jaquita, present, Ms. King, Mr. Bernard, Mr. Winston. All right, thank y'all.
All right. Excuse me. This team will only be able to take official action if quorum is present. Ms. Ferguson, is there quorum present?
Quorum is present.
Thank you. At this time, we will go ahead and proceed to discussion of items or information. Approval of the agenda. I have provided a copy of the agenda in the chat, but I will also share my screen. Oh. Dr. Mahan, may you give me sharing rights?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was muted.
That's
I was
okay.
asking for just a second and I will
You're
make
fine.
sure you have those right. You have those rights at this time.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so we will go ahead and move forward to the action items, which is approval of the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. Are there any changes to the agenda? In that case, may I then have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
I, Charlie Jackson, second it.
All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Please say abstain. All right. Then we will move to approve the agenda for April 17th. We will now move to approval of the previous minutes. From our last meeting, the minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections to the minutes from the previous meeting? If there are no further corrections, may I please have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
I just read the Ferguson motion to move to approve the previous minutes.
Thank you. A second?
Ms. Oliver, second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. All right, thank you. We will review events that recently took place. Dr. Mahan?
Since our last meeting last week, we haven't had many events that have taken place since that time, but we did have an SEL showcase. That was a cluster event, but it still highlighted some great things going on at Price and just how we use social emotional learning strategies and practices and address those SEL competencies throughout our school day. And so I think for me, when I greeted the visitors, I summed it up the best way I knew how and how I felt. I felt like we have come from a place of compliance and making space to hold, the 30-minute time period in the morning for kids to kind of share out, to commitment, and really understanding what that time truly means and valuing that time. And I think that's a commitment from staff and students, and how even an understanding of implementing those practices throughout the day make a difference. It doesn't start and stop in 30 minutes, it's just a way of life. And so just very excited about where we're going with our social emotional implementation next year, because we're going to also start infusing that in our plans and our daily practice as we plan. So that went on today, but it was a pretty good turnout. We had Ms. Sutton on the panel. So thank you for that, or you were moderating, correct? But always a face for SEL. And so, Keela, if you want to add to.
Sure. I thought today was amazing hearing the feedback from our students, many who were former students at Price and are now sophomores in high school at Carver STEAM. They're doing an amazing job. To hear how these strategies and competencies that we've implemented here still carry with them as they continue to matriculate through the curriculum and onward and upward, preparing to transition into life and into college, helping them with decision making. I think the most pivotal aspect for me today was hearing from our parents, partners, and caregivers, and how these SEL competencies help them in terms of their own decision making, working with family, working with their students, and helping with those strategies in the home to coincide with what we're doing here at school. It was a pleasure to hear and to know that they feel supported and also want to support this endeavor in terms of the instructional team, administration, and ensuring that their students or their children are making the best possible choices in life that they can that will impact them in a positive way.
Absolutely. Those are the that's the only event that has taken place since our last meeting last Wednesday. But we can move forward when you're ready, and I can share my screen to talk about upcoming.
Okay, at this time, we'll go ahead and move to reviewing the school calendar. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that you can share yours. You're on mute, Dr. Mahan.
And I'm just talking. Let me start over. I apologize for that. But coming up on this Friday, and everyone, can you see my screen pretty good, even though I'm not in the full mode? Okay, great. Coming up on this Friday, we have a registration blitz, and we will be hosting parents of our rising sixth graders, so fifth graders at Slater now, and our current eighth grade parents on Friday to help them register for the upcoming school year. One thing that parents are used to doing in previous years is just allowing their students to what we call roll over in Infinite Campus. And so they aren't used to necessarily registering, but at this time, every parent has to register their baby in order to be enrolled in our schools. And so just getting the word out there, especially from our upcoming fifth graders, where we want to capture and receive all of our babies from fifth grade. And so in order to do that, we have to make sure that we're committed to having events like this registration blitz to help our parents go through that process. So Ms. Sutton will be hosting this event in her room with the assistance of Ms. Bledsoe, and making sure that we address the needs of our parents of rising sixth grade and our outgoing eighth grade. That is on Friday. And what's the start time, Ms. Sutton?
Start time is 9 o'clock and it will run until 12. There are also incentives for attending registration. We will host a raffle every hour with some really nice gift cards and prizes to our families who register. So 9 to 12 is the time frame for Blitz.
This is super helpful. I'd love if Baby Life Big Sisters team could plug in there and maybe just sit wherever y'all are going to be and be able to get parents signed up for the program while they're getting signed up for enrolling into school, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Will it be, you might have said this already, it's in the media center?
It's going to be in Ms. Sutton's room on the eighth grade hall. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. Ms. Sutton, I'll have Mr. Primus touch base with you about it.
Wonderful. I look forward to talking to him in the morning. Okay. And I'll also send the flyer to you as well.
That's great. Thank you.
Next week on Tuesday, April 23rd, we have Parenting with a Purpose. I know that we talked about Parenting with a Purpose in the past. The last event was held, I think it was in January at Slater Elementary. And so our second event will be here at Price on Tuesday, April 23rd. And that event, the time it starts at 6 o'clock. During that time, raffles will also, $50 gift cards will also be raffled off there for every session. We have childcare that will be provided, and it's going to be an informational session, just letting the community and stakeholders know what's being offered within the cluster. We have student performances that will be taking place during that time. So Price will be featuring our African drummers, and Carver High School Band will also be showcased during that time. Dinner will be provided at the end of those sessions, and those sessions are supporting reading at home, supporting math at home, test taking tips for Georgia Milestones, which we know are coming up soon, and then SEL strategies for caregivers, because we know we are making sure our babies understand how to manage their emotions and become authentic problem solvers. But we want to make sure that we give all the family, the entire family, what they need to also be equipped. The day after Parenting with a Purpose, on Wednesday, the 24th, we have movie night. And Ms. Sutton and I got together and tried to come up with a little catchy name for that, because we want to make sure that we have an event, again, where we're welcoming all of our fifth graders, making sure that they come to Price. They want to come to Price. They're excited about coming to Price. And so we're calling this Transforming Roars. We know they're roaring as tigers at Slater, but we want them to transition into wildcats. And so their roars become stronger and louder. And so we're going to host movie night on that night. That's Wednesday, the 24th, from 4 to 6. And it's going to be in Price's courtyard. If there is a problem with the weather. We need to come up with the plan B, Miss Sutton, but we haven't talked about that just yet. So we're gonna claim great weather. We'll be watching Aquila and the Bee. It won't just be popcorn. We'll have some popcorn there. We'll also be serving nachos. I think that we'll have some enrichment representation there as well, Miss Sutton, if you want to add the other people that we're inviting to that event.
Yes, so we invited our literacy team as well as the math enrichment just to talk to parents. In addition to our 6th grade team, we thought this would be a wonderful opportunity for parents to be able to connect with the instructional team as well as the administration, the teachers who will be working with their scholars in the upcoming school year. And so this will be a lot of fun. It'll be an opportunity for us to fellowship with one another, for them to also be able to see the facility and take a tour around the school if they so choose. But more importantly, just to make connections with us prior to the school year starting. And there will be other activities and events that we will have as well in that transition. So we thought this would be a wonderful opportunity for them to engage as well as for our staff to engage with our new rising parents and students.
Our next event is not on the agenda, but I want to go in order since we're going in order of date. We have our Coca-Cola Scholars Service Project that's taking place here at Price on April 27th. Ms. Sutton, would you share that Ms. Sutton had a connection with this last year, and she's led us in making sure that we contacted who we needed to contact it from Coca-Cola to make this happen again. And so I'm grateful to her for that.
Absolutely. So this is the 2nd year Coke Scholars has partnered with Luther J. Price. I also want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due, and that's to Mrs. Bledsoe, who is an intricate part of the Price community that had this connection and allowed me the opportunity to bridge and merge with Coca-Cola to continue this legacy of greatness. So every year, Coca-Cola awards 150 scholars scholarships. They come from all walks of life, from all over the world to the city of Atlanta, where they go through a process of instructional time. They get some mentorship, but they also have the opportunity to participate in a service project. And they loved the collaboration so much last year with Price that they wanted to come back again. So we'll have an opportunity to see some of the former participants, from the previous year and new participants this year. But it's also a wonderful opportunity for our students to see what joys await them when they, take care of business and do the things that they need to do academically, socially, emotionally, and the connections that they're able to make and the opportunities that they are granted for their hard work. So last year, they did everything from working in our farm to doing some housekeeping within the school facility, some organizing, painting, doing some blasting of the walls. I mean, it was just a lot of fun activity going on, and we're going to do that once again. This year, we opted to focus on one specific area of our school through the Connections team and beautifying an area that means the world to them. We all know this building is of age, and with age comes some dilapidation that's taking place, and we wanted to spruce it up a bit. So we invited the Connections team to give us some insight on some areas that they'd like to improve. And they did that. And so Coca-Cola has sponsored all of the supplies, all of the utilities and resources that we will need to get this done. The scholars will be here on April 27th. We will work just as we did last year. We're praying for good weather once again, but we're looking forward to the opportunity. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great connections. The kids got to see and work with some students and talk to them about their hopes, dreams, and aspirations. And we're looking forward to it once again. So we're grateful for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And also, we know that our enrichment teachers will be coming out and volunteering, but I'm asking for other staff members to come out as well. And we'll just talk about some things that can be earned as you come out and volunteer. So all hands on deck. Is not just going to be the Coke Scholars, but we want to make sure that we have Wildcat representation there as well. Team, I'm going to move on to the GMAS schedule. and then I'll pause. We have remediation going on here as well, and I might as well transition to that before I get to GMAS. Since April, we've had every Tuesday and Thursday, we've had tutoring. So we have teachers that are here from 3:30 until 5:30, providing tutoring for our babies in preparation for GMAS in the areas of ELA and math on the 6th and 7th grade levels, and in all contents, that's ELA, math, science, and social studies on the 8th grade level. On Wednesdays, we aren't doing tutorial, but we're doing remediation. And so our time for remediation is 3:45 to 4:45 on Wednesdays. And so I will go through the GMAS schedule, and then I will pause for dismissal, if that's okay with the team. Okay. So our GMAS schedule is as follows, and this is a breakdown. I just ask that you all review the breakdown on the screen. We will start on April 29th. We're starting with our 6th and 8th grade scholars. Our 7th grade babies won't start testing until the following week, but we will be testing in some capacity until Wednesday, May 15th, and that is the last day for makeups. So between April 29th and Wednesday, May 15th, we will be administering the Georgia Milestones Assessment. I'll pause here and allow you to kind of look at the screen before moving forward to Rising 9th grade. Or Ms. Sutton, if you want to go ahead and speak to Rising 9th grade, I can go ahead and dismiss.
You can continue. Give me just 1 second, Doc.
Ms. Mason. Ms. Mason.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was asking Ms. Sutton, either you or Ms. Mason, do you have the information for the Rising
have it.
9th grade meet? Okay, could you go ahead and share that for me, please?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I was in tutorial. So can you share that for me?
I sure can, Ms. Mason. So what we're having actually this evening is our Carver Campus Rising 9th grade parent meeting. This meeting will take place on Zoom. Carver STEAM and Carver Early College will be present. I'm sorry, you guys, I didn't want you to hear the background noise. We are dismissing for our remediation and tutoring after school today. But again, Carver STEAM and Carver Early College will be online to speak to parents and answer questions about the registration process, what course selections they have available to offer, in addition to our advanced pathways courses, early college courses as well. And that will take place tonight at 6 p.m. I do not have any electronic copy to share with you personally, but I do have, if you can see here, a copy of the flyer. If there's anyone who wanted to, I will put the meeting ID and the passcode in the chat for any parents that you may know who may not know about this opportunity and who may want to participate. But that will take place online this evening. Sorry for the multiple lines in the chat, but I just wanted to make sure that I shared that information for anyone who may have needed it or would like it to share with a parent or parents. At this time, we'll go ahead and move to the discussion items, which item 1 will be the 2024 spring map results. And if you can give us just one moment, I know Dr. Mahan is making sure that our babies get on the buses safely, and she will be right back with us to share that information.
My apologies, team. Are we waiting on me?
Yes, ma'am, but they were aware while we're waiting. Thank you.
I do apologize. All right, and so have we moved on into the spring map results? Okay. Okay, so for our spring map, the dates for administration were March 15th for our reading assessment and March 22nd for our math. Our cluster participation goal was 95% in all grade levels for all schools. We almost made 100%. We had a couple of babies that were absent, but our total for reading on that day, and what we do is we use the week after map in order to do makeup to capture those students that may have been absent on that Friday. But we were 99% in reading and 98% in math. So we reached our cluster goal, even though the goal is always 100%. Just want to give you some high level scores and updates from our MAP administration. We were able to almost meet our school year 23-24 goals, which were very aggressive goals. What we did in ELA from winter to spring, we did decrease a little bit. And so we've met as a instructional leadership team here at Price just to address and dig deeper to see what things we can do to turn that around in the couple of weeks that we have before milestone, and just kind of address what things, where we fell short and where that decrease may have occurred. But again, we are almost at our goal, and we know that we can exceed that goal based on our winter scores in ELA for proficient or for developing and above. For proficient and above, we're right where we were in the winter, so we're not decreasing, but we're away from our goal by 1%. And so we are very confident in meeting that goal as well. For math, we did drop by 4% from winter to spring. same thing. We took a deeper dive to see what changes that we could make, moving into milestones, and even started talking about things that we need to change for next year to make sure that we maintain or increase on all of our assessments. Our aggressive goal for math for the year was 51%. So we're off 1 point from reaching that goal in developing, and we're a little short in proficient. Our goal was 12% or is 12%. For the year, we're at 6%. So we're a little short, but we are confident that we are going to make some gains in math as well. Just to kind of give you all some information as we look at us compared to the district. Right now, our fall to spring growth is above average compared to the APS score. So right now the average for APS is at the 45th percentile. We are at the 49th percentile for growth at this time. So we're faring above average based on all schools in APS in the content area of ELA. And the same in math. So the APS average or their percentile is at the 36th percentile. We are at the 42nd percentile for growth. So we're faring well, and we only look forward to making an increase when we get the milestone. So our data is looking great. We're ranked 6 out of 15 in our improvement data. I'm sorry. Close the door. So our approach in attacking the spring data was to just make sure that, again, that we had at least 95% of our students complete the assessment, that it was reviewed at a high level. And we did that this past Friday for all schools at our State of PBSA address. We have met as an instructional leadership team to take a deeper dive in that spring map data, and we met on Monday to do that. And our teacher teams will take a dive on Friday. So we will meet this coming Friday to look at the map data and talk about what we can do in this short period of time between now and milestones, and plan in that area. Any questions about where we are with our spring assessment? Okay, Ms. Sutton, we can move forward to the information item for family engagement.
Excellent, thank you. We will now move on to information items. The first is the principal's report.
Let's move to family engagement.
Oh, I'm sorry, family engagement. 2023-2024 family engagement and partnership highlights.
Okay, so we have met as an administrative team here at Price and just thought about our partnerships. And so I'm pleased to announce that we will retain all partnerships from previous years. We have Big Brothers Big Sisters on the call with us, and we're so excited to partner with them again. And we will also continue our partnership with Chris 180, with Boys and Girls Club, with Bearing Bike Shop, with Giwai and Mata, with Communities in Schools, with Read Source, formerly known as Skank. And I hope I'm not omitting someone. I feel like I am. There's a long list, but we will continue those partnerships, and we look forward to the growth that we've made with them this year and progressing even further in the upcoming school year.
Thank you, Dr. Mahan. We will now move into the introduction of new members. We have three candidates for candidacy for parent seat. They are on the 2024-2026 ballot. They will serve 2-year terms. Those individuals are Ms. Brittany Carter, Mr. Clinton Carter, and I believe the first name, I don't want to mispronounce it, is Miss Kirsten Williams. That is the parent seat. Individual links have been sent out to all of the parents in the cluster to ensure that they have the opportunity and the ability to vote for a parent to represent for Luther J. Price Middle School. In addition, we also have two amazing instructional staff members who are also on call this evening, Miss Nikisha Mason and Mr. William Oliver. Yay! Who are also on the ballot for the 2024-2026 term. We're looking forward to having them be a part of the Go Team and providing their insight and input on all of the amazing things that we do here, in addition to contributions that will make Luther J. Price even greater. In addition to that, staff members have been sent a link as well, so that they also have the ability to vote for those 2 seat positions. So we are looking forward to working more with you, Ms. Mason and Mr. Oliver. At this time, well, that's Go Team elections pretty much in a nutshell. We did do candidacy for Mr. Oliver in our last meeting. And so we are happy to have Mr. Oliver here. The new upcoming election, however, is for 2024 through 2026. So they will be voting as there will be members of our team who will no longer be present because our tenure has now taken its time. So we will need to ensure that those that are taking place are very excited and looking forward to doing the work with the Go Team. At this time, we will move to any announcements. Does anyone have any additional announcements that they would like to add? This is, I'm so sad to say, tears are streaming, is our last Go Team meeting for the 2023-2024 academic year. It has definitely been a joy working with all of you. So we will be, the next meeting will be 2024 going into these next 2 terms. So I look forward to hearing about all of the wonderful things that you all are doing and will continue to do. We have now reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? In that case, may I then have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
No, I'm sorry. Open comment for the public. Is that not on the agenda?
You know what, it is.
It
I
is.
can't see over my computer. Please forgive me. I'm looking at 2 screens. I apologize. Thank you, Ms. Ferguson, for acknowledging that. Any public comments at this time? I don't see anything in the chat. We'll move to the announcements. Does anyone have any announcements? Okay. At this point, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Charlie Jackson make a motion to dismiss the meeting.
A second?
Jaquita Ferguson, second.
All in favor, please raise your hand or say aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? All right. At this time, the meeting is adjourned at 5:01 p.m.
Everyone have a safe evening.
I'll see you in a few,
Well,
Mason. You got an hour.